What's going on, Alabama Nation? Roll Tide in the chat. Hate Tennessee week. Tennessee hate week is over. We have completed the mission. It didn't look good early, but it finished perfect. Man, do we have some reactions, some final game reactions. Boy, are we excited to come out with a win. You are here with the Bama Football on YouTube post-game show panelists, myself, Coach Smook, Coach Jerick, Giant Sports, and Coach Sean from Huntsville. Guys, we came out with the dub. It didn't look good early. Final reactions. Coach Jay, take it away, bro.
First of all, like I said, man, I'm just glad we got the win. We have an opportunity Tennessee was by far our toughest opponent since Texas. We got one more to go. Which is going through LSU, man. And then all of a sudden, we have a phenomenal chance of playing for the SC championship game. So, I'm just glad we got the win, but overall wise, poor half again. And we had a strong half. Just inconsistent play. We have not yet put together a complete game. I know I sound spoiled, but I'm just listen, man, I'm ready for LSU. I know I know what this game means, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I know, the Coach Smook, he's got his cigar. I got my pretzel stick in my mouth. So I'm I'm ready to go, man. But overall wise, I'm just looking at LSU. LSU, man, I can tell you, I got a couple friends that go to LSU, man. They're texting me, man. They're talking trash. They're like, dude, we're going to smoke you guys the way that you guys play in the first half, man. And so it's what team shows up. What team decides to show up? Do you get the team in the second half or do you get the team in the first half?
Right.
From a play calling standpoint, from an executional standpoint, which do you get? So that's what we got to try to figure out. But overall wise, solid win. We'll take the win.
Right. Go ahead, Coach Sean, man. I'm going to give my initial reaction after, man. You guys got me fired up. I love the energy in the chat. And as we hear Coach Sean's take, man, y'all make sure y'all liking the stream and sharing it, guys. Let's get this Alabama Nation riled up because them Tennessee fans was popping off a lot. And Coach Sean, you know, they was talking crazy this week. They was talking real reckless. So y'all make sure y'all sharing the stream on every social media platform. We are live right now. Post-game reactions to this Alabama win over Tennessee. Coach Sean, post-game initial reaction, man. How you feeling, bro?
Man, feeling great, man. Shout out to Bobby Sprinkle. I appreciate you. Shout out to Nath Bone. I appreciate you. Man, listen, I'm gonna save my truth in the details, pessimist by nature take for just a little later on the show. Right now, I gotta take about 15 seconds to say I hate Tennessee.
Yes.
I dislike Tennessee. I'd rather lose to Auburn than lose to Tennessee. Tennessee is the one game on the schedule that I'm completely fanned out. I admit it. I'm fanned out. I cannot stand Tennessee. I hope all you Tennessee fans that log into this smell all victory. Smell it, taste it. I can't stand you. I can't stand your color.
Look at them deep in their soul.
The way your state smell, I just don't like it. Period. I'm a Bama fan. I went to Alabama University, been a Bama fan since I was a kid, and we just kicked your you know what. Roll Tide to all the Bama fans. Get Tennessee out of here, man. Get that disrespectful, you know what, out of here. I feel great right now. And put some respect on Jermaine Burton's name. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, sir. Hey, boy, you got me hyped now. Y'all we got Bishop, Coach Sean just there. Y'all think it's a game. Hey, but for real, my final reaction, y'all. Yes, I'm excited. I'm glad to get a win. Decisive win. I want to honestly say we played a horrible first 15 minutes. We just like last game, it seemed like we can't put together a full 60 minutes, man. This team is literally 15 minutes away from being a complete team. And I don't understand what it is. It felt like it was play calling at first, but then you go back and you rewatch it. It wasn't play calling. It's Milroe holding on to the ball too long this game. And then the offensive line was the problem last game. But you go look at it now. This game, the offensive line played, I mean, B plus and I'm just going initial reaction. I haven't been able to go back and watch the tape. But I mean, B plus, man. This offensive line played a solid game. There were mismatches created. They lost some, very few matches like one-on-ones. It was a complete game from this offensive line. And I'm looking for Milroe to make that next step and setting the tone early. I don't like him putting that pressure on himself early. Them self-imposed miscues, them self-imposed adversities, like I said the last show. So, guys, but overall, we got the win. Defense played beautifully. 0 points in the second half. Really should have been only 7 in the first half. They created a mismatch early on the first drive, but we saw Kevin Steele make adjustments. Let's start to dive into the game, chat, as we continue to welcome you all in. Coach Sean, let's talk to the chat for a second, Coach Sean and Coach Jay. Donna,
let me address John M.
John M, where he at? Let me find Kool-Aid is going to cause us the game.
John M, Kool-Aid is going to cause us a game. Let me tell you something about Kool-Aid right now. Let me tell you something that I just now the first time the first punt he let go, I thought that might be the case because I've seen this happen before in high school. I've seen kids. Let me tell you something what Kool-Aid is going on right now. What he's got going, he has completely lost confidence in catching that ball. Dude rather let it bounce. You could tell because the second one really showed it. The first one I was like, maybe he misjudged it, but the second one showed it. He was not going to attempt to field that punt, man. I think his confidence is a little shaken. I really do, man. I think his confidence is a little shaken, and that happens. That happens with punt returners. If they drop a few or bobble a few or make some mistakes, trust me, it's easy to lose confidence in a punt return, man. That side of the ball is not for the weak at heart. Trust me. If you ever did punt return, you got to be a special kind of brother to feel that thing, man.
Yes.
So I think he has lost confidence a little bit back there, man. And that's just my humble opinion. I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah. I want to address this one. James Turner said our play calling and creativity on offense is trash. I will agree with you for the first 15 minutes of this game, brother. I was literally on that same train. I begged for it on Twitter. I mean, is at some point you have to understand our guys cannot win head up. You have to create something for the defense, something else for the defense to look at when diagnosing our offense. We have to create opportunities for the defense to react. So I agree with you for that first 15 minutes. But I will tell you this, from that fourth or fifth drive in the second quarter, our fourth or fifth drive, it was like the third drive of the second quarter, I saw a different style of play calling. After the jet sweep motion, I think Tommy Rees reverted back to how effective that was. And every time we ran pre-snap motion, we had successive plays. Whether it was 3 yards, Jace McClellan's longest rush of the first half was 11 yards because of pre-snap motion. It's the simple things. And we're going to have to see. I'm waiting to see Tommy Rees continue to grow and understand that even though that worked this game, you're going to have to identify these mismatches and these things earlier in games to get your offense in a rhythm and set Milroe up to be successful. His clock is not going off fast enough in the first quarter and the second quarter. Put him in positions to where he's moving like you did in the second half. We've been asking for Coach Sean, Coach Jay, y'all asked for it. Get Milroe move the pocket for him. Move the pocket for him. When we did, we hit Dupree on a key first down catch to extend the drive. Key first down. So I agree with you, man. Appreciate this chats. Hey, super chats in there. Let's go. We got who is this? We got Wookie. He said, Wookie Gremlin said with the $2 super chat said, my TV survived the first half barely. Roll Tide. Wookie, appreciate the super chats,
facts,
man.
Wookie. 100% facts, brother. I'm right there with
facts,
you.
Man. Hey, Don Parker says with the $5 super chat, appreciate you, man. Wasn't pretty, but I have to do it because I hate Tennessee. Still low down, still dirty, still
facts,
some stitches.
Don Parker.
Smoke them if you got them. Roll Tide,
yes,
roll. That's the energy we trying to bring to the chat. Appreciate that $5 super chat, man. And then we got our guy, man, Draco Karras. Is that how I say it? Draco Karras? $5 super chat says, roll Tide from Sarasota, Florida. Hey, I like Sarasota. Puffing a victory cigar before my 12-hour shift with the Bama Nation. Put some respect on Burton. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, factuals.
Shout out Draco Karras.
Facts. Shout you out. Shout out, bro. Coach Jay, I'm eager to get to your take, man. I want you to let it out. Spit it out like you did last week. I want it straight, hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Go.
I'm just gonna say this right now, fellas. We can't play like the way we did against Tennessee in that first half. We will get blown out. I'm telling you, like right now we're on the high. We're right. Some of us are smoking pretzels, others are smoking cigars. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're on that high right now. But I'm telling you this right now. There were opportunities missed in the red zone that Joe Milton, if he didn't miss those throws, because there were matchups that were clearly one that Joe Milton didn't make. That was 27 points that they could have put up in the first quarter alone.
Yep, and Jaden Daniels won't miss.
And exactly. Jaden Daniels is not missing these passes. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, they have the ability to get open and to separate, and they have the athleticism to cause havoc in our secondary. We cannot play the way that we did against them because, like I said, they have the ability to run the football. They have the ability to throw it. They have a dynamic playmaker. And once again, we struggle with the mobile quarterback. That for the most part created plays with his legs and extended drives. Jaden Daniels is faster than Kaya Jefferson and Joe Milton combined.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like I said, this is a great win. First half was just it's just inconsistent as all hell. I don't know what I mean. Like I said, Coach Sean sent me some videos, sent me some clips, and he'll tell you about it. Of just the zone, like the inconsistent play on our screen plays and zone reads. It's just facts. some of the play designs and just running backs running into the wrong lanes. And again, Jalen Murrow once again not getting off that first read, missing the check down 3 times, which was wide open. That was just as terrible as a first quarter and really the first half that we can get. Jermaine Burton with the freakish play off with the ball coming off his shoulder. That should have been a touchdown. We really should have scored 40 points on this team. But
52, honestly, 52.
52. We could have got on, honestly, man. But it's just, man, we got to do a better job of just taking advantage of opportunity. I mean, like I said, we did that in the second half. But I'm just tired of going through this, man. Whether the first half we play like garbage and the second half we play like absolute gangbusters. The second half we play like absolute crap, but the first half we play like gangbusters. When are we going to have a complete game? When is it just all going to come together, man? It's frustrating as hell to watch because you know that if we put everything together, this is a complete football team.
This is a nasty team.
This is a nasty team, man.
And just to shout out real quick, Donna Be Curious, shout out for the $5 super chat. We love to acknowledge when you guys take time out of your day, take money out of your own bank account and just support what's happening over here. It is really appreciated. Every comment, every like, every share is greatly appreciated. So I just want to take a minute. Happy meal.
Can you highlight that Demetrius tweet?
Yeah, I got you.
Explain to him why you say what you say, Coach Jay.
Hold on, right there.
Okay, all this crying from y'all is football. The other team wants to win too. Look, the thing is, it's not that we're crying, brother. The thing is, we're bringing up valid points. There are certain games where you just can't afford to allow your weaknesses to be prevalent. Yes, we knew we had a protection weakness. This game, that protection weakness was not the prevalent thing. The fact that Miro was indecisive in the pass game and Tommy Reese's inability to stick with what was working pre-snap motion. I see my boy Jay the Goat said it, pre-snap motion. We have to identify that early. Your first 3 play calls, at least 2 of them should be pre-snap motion. This team, every game, pre-snap motion is what's created. What type of staff do we have at Alabama that does not recognize that? This offensive line has not won early in game one-on-one matchups. Not once this season. Not once. When has our run game been most effective? Everybody in the chat can answer. Late third, early fourth quarter is when we've had the most success. So we have to be more. I could feel your frustration. Just know that I could feel your frustration. But the way that the adjustment was made this game, I am more than happy with the way that Tommy Reese went with the adjustment and stuck with the adjustment. We didn't invade the run game to continue to make this offensive productive. Coach Sean, Jay the Ghost says Tommy suck. We have to see more pre-snap motion. You heard my take on it. How you feel about that, man?
I feel, first of all, shout out to Carla Hinton. Shout out to you, baby girl. I appreciate that you understand.
Oh, we got this one too, brother. Whenever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 1,000%. I think I'm on the board with Coach Jay, man. You know, I'm a pessimist by nature. I enjoy the win. I think like a coach. I'm just used to it, man. I can guarantee everybody in this chat right now, Coach Saban is thinking just like we thinking right now.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. You know, it's for the fans to enjoy the win. You guys are right in the chat, and we enjoy it, man. But I can promise you, Coach Saban know what we got coming up. And I can guarantee you the other team watched us tonight. And the things that we did tonight will get us beat in the next game. Well, not just beat, but blew out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely. We're not a come from behind offense, you know what I mean? Believe it or not. I know it seems like we are, but we are most certainly not. So I totally understand, man. I'm not gonna get into it too deep tonight. I'm gonna get into that more on Monday night.
Monday, yes.
But I agree with Coach J 1,000,000,000%. I'm a pessimist by nature, man. The truth is in the details. And while I enjoy the win because I'm the biggest Tennessee hater of all time, my concerns outweigh my happiness. You know what I mean? I can't stay happy too long because I still have so much great concerns for how we played in the first half. It's like, I seen somebody say we're a second half team. I totally disagree with that because second half we sucked against Arkansas.
Yeah,
second half we sucked against Mississippi State. So we just had
need
to play
be a consistent team.
Right. We just hadn't played 2 good halves yet. Yes. And hopefully we're saving that. We're going to go into the bye week, get some rest, relaxation, and some mental education for as things we've been doing wrong. Hopefully we save that full, complete game when we're going to need it most when LSU come into Bryant-Denny.
Yes, sir. And shout out to our guy, Hesio 24,499 with the super chat. Roll Tide. We got another super chat. Y'all running them in, man. Hey, Mattress Matt. Oh, is this the real Mattress Matt? If this is the real Mattress Matt, hey, shout out to my guy Mattress Matt. Why not run motion misdirection the entire game, not just when we are down? Then we get ahead and we go back to the O'Brien style ancient loser offense. Keep scoring when you're ahead.
Couldn't have said it better.
I swear, Mattress Matt, I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but that was my cry because the pre-snap motion, no matter how extravagant or how simple it was, any type of pre-snap movement that caused a switch in the formation. The key play I'm gonna highlight Monday is when we had the offset. We had the double wides on the right. We had 3 wides. We was in 11 personnel. We had the 2 splits off to the right. When we motioned Malik Benson, he was already off the line and motioned as the outside receiver across the formation. That caused that whole defensive formation to realign and open up that gap. And Jason McClellan hit the hole, no hesitation. And on the read, you also presented the option for Milroe to possibly keep it. Those simple adjustments provide your offense that hasn't been explosive so many different options within one fluid motion of a play. And
explain
that's what
to them, Coach Smook or Coach J, when you playing safety, what pre-snap motion does when you see somebody coming in motion, how that messes up what your original assignment was.
If Coach J want to take it, he can go first, but I'm go ahead, Coach J. It was just genius how he did it, bro. It was just genius how he did it.
Now, as a safety, you got to follow it. I mean, you got to respect it. Someone making a motion, you have to respect it. You have to follow that, man.
And anytime, one thing I am noticing with Tommy Reese and Jalen Milroe, anytime they see misbalance or unbalanced matchups in their passing sets, they will check out of a run and take their mismatches. That's what I am noticing. Even on Milroe's pick, that was a mismatch. I honestly would have checked down under because the dig was coming across late in the middle when he was releasing the ball. He still had time. I don't know why he rushed through that progression. He did have the one-on-one. I think Burke can go up to with 2 hands. You give yourself a better chance. He was kind of trying to shield the DB. It was one of those ticky-tack plays, but you look at the play calling, man. Reese, light switch came on in the second quarter, the last 8 minutes of the second quarter for Reese. And we came in the third quarter, and even though I think the first drive ended in 3 points, he was sticking with what was working. I want to see that consistency in the beginning of the game, though. Shout out to D-Fin for the $10 super chat. We are a mediocre 4 or 5-star studded offense with a subpar OC. Really good defense, though. I can agree
I say something to that?
To a certain extent. Go ahead.
D-Fin, I agree with you to a certain extent because I want the people to look and pay attention to how Josh Heupel used Milton starting off the game.
Yeah.
He understands. See, Milton and Milroe are not far apart from one another. They're very similar with accuracies. Obviously, we know Milton has a cannon for an arm, but those 2 guys are extremely similar. Look how Josh Heupel used him starting off the game. If I'm not mistaken, dude hit his first 9 passes.
He was 9 for 9 before.
9 for 9.
Yep.
You play quarterback, guys, you got to let your quarterback, especially on the road, get in the rhythm. Give him some short stuff. Give him some passes in the flats. Give him something.
When they're playing off ball.
Yeah, yes. Give him something where let your quarterback set his feet and get in a rhythm. That's how your quarterback gains confidence throughout the game. If we use Jalen Milroe like that, man, it'll help us so much. But for some reason, we started off dropping him back, 5-step drop, letting him, and we went 3 and out hella times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What me and Coach J and Coach Smook are saying, that is a concern for us going forward, especially with the next team on our schedule. That's all.
Facts. Shout out to our guy Keem Wine. As a coach, it hits different when you in the booth and on the field with your players. I feel Reese should be on the field. Can I be a testament to this? I'm gonna tell you like this from personal experience. I can understand why Reese is in the booth. I can understand the reasoning, the logic behind it with the way this staff is set up at Alabama. Now, if you don't have Holman Wiggins and T-Rob on the sideline, definitely have Reese on the sideline. Definitely. But you got two experienced guys who can possibly, who honestly, if we didn't go out and get Reese, I wouldn't mind Holman Wiggins stepping up and having a first year go at the offensive coordinator position. He has the background. He's been a quarterback coach. He's coached offensive line. He's coached running backs. And now he's been producing. Well, I'm not going to say producing, but he's been kind of integral in development of wide receivers recently coming out of Alabama. So I wouldn't mind that. But I definitely understand what you mean. I feel like Miro has just displayed such a level of composure that the coaching staff trust him to be able to have that type of space to handle what he needs to handle for the win. Coach Jay, would you like to give a take on that?
No, what would you say? What'd you say?
About Coach Reese not being on the sideline, this super chat. He said, as a coach, it hits different when you in the booth and on the field with your players. I feel Reese should be on the field.
No, I can understand why Reese is because again, you get that bird's eye view and you can see the entire field, So again, you can make it easier a lot for your quarterback. You can keep calling the plays. Makes it easier to see exactly what sort of defense that they're in. But no, I get both points because if you're on the field, if Jalen Miro, let's say, is having a rough game, or not just Jalen Miro, but maybe a position group, maybe it's the offensive line, maybe it's the receivers, tight end room. You can try to go to those guys, talk to them, try to get some communication, and try to make adjustments right there on the field compared to when you're just trying to try to get the call downfield, get somebody on the phone, and then all of a sudden you have to try to relay that. You have to hope that player relays that message to the rest of the position groups that are going to be out there. So no, I understand it from both standpoints. It's a big debate about whether if he should be on the booth or not. But no, I understand it completely.
Yeah. Coach Sean, I want you to take these two super chats, they're kind of related, and I want you to give your take on this. That boy 101 True $2 says, what the is going on with Kool-Aid back and half home? I was just playing, but he said he's killing us. I agree. And then I'm gonna tie this one with it, bro. Jonathan Bowden, 1999, he says, love this channel, love giving my super chats every week. But I love this doggone cigar even more. What defense do you guys think will be best for LSU? Nickel Rabbit, something similar to that. So the way I want to tie this together for you, brother, and again, appreciate you both for the super chats, Jonathan Bowden. We appreciate you for the super chats, honestly. We love the fact that you want to do that. But yeah, I'm going to tie this together like this. Based off what you saw in this game and how our defense played, we already gave our first take on how we felt about Kool-Aid and his inability to field these punts. But based off what you've seen in this defense and the personnel groupings, what do you see going forward based off of this game? What you saw from this personnel grouping, whatever personnel grouping you think best fits to defend LSU, what in this game shows you that?
I think the defensive play, the defensive game plan we have for this game is perfect. It's just with Jaden Daniels, I think you need to have a more athletic spy on that guy. You have to spy that guy with maybe one and mix it up. Sometimes one guy, sometimes two guys, depending on down and distance. You have to have a spy on Jaden Daniels. He is faster than this guy we just played, way faster. If you guys can remember last year at LSU, he killed us. This guy might be playing better than any quarterback in the country right now. And at this moment, meaning this week right here, LSU's offense may be playing the best in the nation right now. You know what I mean? I can't say they're the most talented offense in the nation, but they're probably playing the best in the nation. So I think the game plan we use tonight is a good one, but I think you need to do more spying with Jaden Daniels. I think you need to mix it up depending on down and distance with him. You're going to have to.
Facts. And I do want to highlight something. I see that we relied a lot on that 3 down, like true down lineman look tonight against a very athletic quarterback. And if you want to talk about just wearing an offensive line down and put it enough pressure early to where your pressure late game is going to be effective, That's what we saw from this defensive front. And I mean, the 3-down linemen, the outside linebackers, even the inside linebackers, they were kind of undisciplined early, a little jumping the wrong gaps early. But they settled down in the second quarter. I want to say the third drive, not even the second quarter, the third drive, the defense really settled down. Heupel, once his mismatches got taken away from him, and I want to credit Kevin Steele so much, man. We could see the effect, the Kevin Steele effect is prevalent on his Alabama defense. Talent is really is being allowed to shine right now because of the way Kevin Steele is calling his defense. So, I mean, I just love it. We got another super chat from Donna B. Curious. She said, please keep those on the sideline. What are we talking about? Keep what on the sideline? What are we talking about? Keep those on the sideline. I want to do highlight this as we acknowledge the super chat. The Inquisitive Prince. Hey, shout out to you for showing up again, Inquisitive Prince. I appreciate your energy in the chat, man. You have some pretty good takes, man. I really do. The defense is like watching Rocky Balboa. The offense is like watching Fred Sanford having a heart attack. Hey, appreciate that $5 super chat. It is, man, because, you know, he might be breaking down, doing his dance, got you grooving and popping your fingers with him. And then the next minute you call it 911 because you don't know what happened. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely can agree with that. Coach Jay, with this offense, man, and we've been beckoning on the run game, how it started to, you know, finally become productive in going towards the second half. The pass game, man. What's been impressive to you about this wide receiver core, who really hasn't been given a real opportunity to shine on a consistent basis?
They have found abilities to get separation. They have found the ability to get it so much better when it comes to separation. We all listen. These are 5-star receivers, so like, you know, I'm not completely shocked that these guys are finding ways to get open. They're becoming a lot more smarter. They're more comfortable in this scheme, way more comfortable in the scheme compared to Bill O'Brien. So you got to give a lot of credit to a lot of these receivers. And like I said, we're deep. We're extremely deep at this receiving position. And like I said before, you know, Jalen Milroe, he's progressing as a quarterback. We understand that this is just the way he is right now. You know, you're not going to get the Bryce Young, Mac Jones with Steve Sarkisian type of offense. And, you know, again, Ty Reese, even though, like I said, I really do like the scheme that Ty Reese is putting forward, he's got to get better at play calling on a consistent basis and knowing when to put these players in a better position. Because I'm telling you, these receivers have found ways to get open all season long, but it's either Jalen Milroe or it's because it's just a lack of execution. So we got to find ways to get more consistent, because these receivers from the first game all the way to now, this is the way that they've been playing all game.
Yeah.
I haven't seen as many drops as we did last year. Remember, Alabama was one of the worst teams in the nation when it came to drops. Haven't seen that much drops from them coming this year. They're one of the worst teams in the country last year when it comes to separation. And especially against press, you could literally just destroy them. And Bama's receivers were not known for being physical. Now Alabama receivers are known for being physical in both the run game and the passing game as well. They can chip. They can chip. They will do whatever it takes to contribute to this offense. So I'm extremely just impressed with overall the unselfishness of this receiving core, the ability for them to be patient, just wait for their turns and wait for an opportunity. You saw Jalen Hale was finally included as sweeps. He's more of a gadget player. I'm so happy that, again, that's what happens when you start the motion. And all of a sudden, one of those times that you kind of do the pre-snap motion, he gets the ball on the jet sweep. The defense is they're going to start respecting that. That's on the film now. So overall wise, man, I'm really glad that these receivers are performing. And like I said, LSU secondary, Alabama has that's a mismatch for Alabama. That's a win for Alabama if we can be more consistent. If Jalen Milroe can get the ball to these receivers, there's not a corner on that team, whether if it's in the slot, secondary, or whether there's safety matchups that can match up with any of our Alabama receivers. But we got to be more consistent with play calling and execution.
For sure. Hey, shout out to Lakers Swag 11 for the $4.99 super chat. Kool-Aid just need to let the game come to him. Get back to basics like last year. We're going to need him to step up, especially next game. Facts. And you know what? I did see him calm down defensively in that second half. I saw Kool-Aid in phase every pass. When they attacked him them last 3 times, he was targeted. He was in phase. I don't think he gave up a completion in the second half. So, you know, to see him in phase on that receiver, they're number one at that point, it was good to see that. So definitely thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Todd Atkins with the $4.99 super chat. How about Jihad Campbell? That's Jay's Coach Jay's boy.
Coach Smook, we talked about it. Then we not talk about this on Monday. We said that Jihad Campbell was the perfect linebacker for this game.
For this game, and you saw the switch. You saw the switch early. Kevin Steele. That's why I can appreciate Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele didn't waste any time. Treasure Marshall had 3. He has to. He had Treasure Marshall had 3 snaps that I saw him like where I could see that he was on the field. I don't know when other snaps he played the rest of the game, because every time it was like a check down out there, or Milton was breaking out for a scramble, extending the play, Campbell was in the picture. Not necessarily fast enough, but forcing it to where it can't just go north and south. Forcing him to the sideline to his help. Forcing him back inside to his help. I mean, his run gap fitting was so immaculate tonight. Was so immaculate. That 4th and short stop was all Keenan and Campbell, bro. Braswell came in there and clean up. The way our defense is cleaning up and tackling this year is just a refreshing sight to have. I want to dive into a comment, guys. We still having this debate right here. I don't know why, and this is the last time I want to acknowledge it. This is the last time I want to talk about it, because we know on this panel who the guy is, but we still have fans that feel like Ty Simpson throws a better ball. We still have fans. Same fan says High Power TV. He says, I always have the thought that they should have groomed Ty Simpson for the job. I'm gonna make a quick point. Give me 30 seconds. Ty Simpson had his opportunity against USF. Ty Buckner had his opportunity against USF. Hot take. The head coach for USF used to be the offensive coordinator for Tennessee. When he came over to USF, he brought a lot of the basic defense, everything over, same schematics offensively. He brought it to USF. I honestly believe Nick Saban, playing chess and not checkers, knew later on in the season we was going to experience a talented defensive front, 2 talented defensive fronts that was going to present the same type of adversity in the front. And we was going to have to try to find a way to create offensive production. We knew Milroe could do it with his legs. We knew he could extend and make plays with his legs. We knew that before the USF game. We didn't know if Ty Simpson and Ty Buckner could complete the passes that were open that Milroe was missing. So why not test them against USF, who should be the undermatched team? And that's what led to the development and how this quarterback situation played out. So Ty Simpson, I don't think Ty Simpson benefits from being thrown into the game against Ole Miss as a starter, because that defense is presented the same problems that any defense had been presented to us. What's y'all take on these on this Ty Simpson take, guys?
I had a lot of people on Twitter, and when I was going live, it was Ty Simpson. It was bringing in Ty Simpson, and I had a debate with one person on Twitter saying that, hey, listen, like he had an opportunity. He didn't exceed it. And then somebody, then of course it was back and forth and saying, well, Ty Simpson, and he didn't get the start initially because it went to Ty Buckner. There's a reason why Ty Buckner got that start in the first place. Is because Ty Buckner was familiar with Ty Maurice's scheme, and Ty isn't. Ty's the person that's inexperienced. Ty's a person that's right now, again, he's still extremely young. He's still extremely inexperienced. He doesn't have that much game time experience. And this is probably our fault. This is probably in a way Alabama's fault for kind of this, is the fact that we haven't been dominant since the 2020 football season. We've been playing in a lot of tight, close games. So a lot of our starters are in the game for 4 quarters, and we don't have backups. This is not a Tua Tagovailoa situation where Tua in that 2017 year he had game reps galore from a backup quarterback. Tua alone had almost 1,000 yards passing by himself as a backup quarterback because of the amount of times that we blew out the competition. This is not how it is. We are in 2023. This is a different Alabama team compared to how it was 6 or 7 years ago. We're going to be in a lot of close tight ball games. We're going to be in a lot of situations where the personnel isn't as good as it used to be in the past. So Ty Simpson's not going to get the reps. Ty Buckner's definitely not going to get the reps. And he had all fall camp to win that job. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't win the job during fall camp. It was a 3-horse race, maybe even a 4-horse race. The only quarterback that Nick Saban had confidence in to start was Jalen Milroe. Why? Because number one, he had the locker room's attention. The locker room wanted him to be the starting quarterback. And number two was when they had their scrimmages, he was the one that outplayed them all. Whether if it was with his arm or his legs, he was the one that was making plays. So this thing should have ended by the time we got to week one, once he was named the starting quarterback. Because if y'all all competing for the job, and if Jalen Murrow was the one that won that job, then there's a reason why he won it. And I think what we saw in that South Florida game was a quarterback that just was not ready for the moment. And I think that him being thrown again, it should never even come down to that. Jalen Murrow should have been starting that South Florida game in the first place. But because everyone kept moaning and bitching, and I'm going to include myself into it, because after that Texas game, I said, you know what? Maybe it's time we need to give Ty Buckner and Ty Simpson a chance. But that it was over after week 3. I had to learn my lesson. The coaches, some of us had to learn our coach.
Look, we knocked that out the park quick.
Yeah. Listen, Coach Sean will tell you, like he kept saying, man, I told you all. So at this point, guys, it's if you're still on this, Ty Simpson needs to be the starting quarterback. It's not happening this year, guys. It's over with, right? We were down by 2 scores. People were calling for Ty Simpson. It all wasn't on Jalen Murrow. The entire offense, lack of execution, play calling, it was everybody's fault. That we were down 13-0, not just on Jalen Murrow. And based off what we've seen so far during the season, there have been situations where Jalen Murrow, with his ability to play, won us football games. Yes. So it is what it is. We can talk about the future during the offseason, but until and I'm gonna knock on wood for this, unless he gets injured, Jalen Murrow is our starting quarterback. I shouldn't even say this point moving forward. He was our starting quarterback week 1 moving forward.
Yeah. And I want to take an opportunity to say this, man. Milrow not only got cheated out of a game to continue developing like we wanted him to, but Milrow, he's maintained his position as looked upon as a leader. It's hard to find that in college football these days, with egos and guys feeling like they're things are supposed to be given to him. Like, he earned this position. He sat behind Bryce. He came in for Bryce and kept our team afloat. Like, Milrow's not the reason why we didn't make the playoffs last season, guys. You get what I'm saying? Like, so the weight that he's carrying and the level he's carrying it at, we have to take time and appreciate what this man is doing and how he's developing. So, get back to the super chats, man. Sherman. Ty Simpson would have got injured. Ty Simpson would get injured early on if he was a starter. It's not about his passing ability, but his scrambling ability, I think. Not even that. It's just he doesn't have – he has the ability to scramble. It's just not at the ability Jalen Milrow produces. You get what I'm saying? That's the difference. It's an it factor that Milrow possesses.
Let me answer that too, Coach, real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
Shout out to JG, 100% facts, brother. David Pastor talking about when Sayan gets here. I would love to ask you, what makes you think a high school kid who's never played at Bama is going to be better than any quarterback on the roster right now? Y'all kill me with that, man. Quarterback is probably one of the, outside of corner, one of the toughest positions to play in college football. Just because you see a kid who's a 5-star in high school, that means absolutely nada, bro.
Right.
And very few of those guys work. I can give you, for every 5-star you can give me that worked out, I can give you one that didn't. Right. You know what I mean? So please don't be fooled by these stars and all that stuff, man. Right. It's a whole bunch of things that has to be correct to make these 5 stars work out at that position. Right. For me, man, listen, when I told you guys 3 months ago, Jalen Milrow is going to be the starter, I got several people on that staff right now. 2 people that's on staff helping out with the strength and conditioning, and 2 people that's in the Tide Pride thingy that get in everything. Listen, man, I wasn't bragging on Jalen Milrow because Jalen Milrow was just this outstanding quarterback. I was bragging on him because he was better than what was on our roster at the time. It's not that Ty Simpson is a bad quarterback. Ty Simpson is extremely green right now. If you know football, if any of you guys in the chat played this game, like not the guys that didn't play, no disrespect to you, if you really played the game, man, I understand why fans are calling for Ty because they get frustrated with Milrow, as I do. I get so frustrated with that guy sometimes. But if you watch Ty in USF, the guy only reads half the field right now. The guy he's the typical young guy. Mm-hmm. Every young quarterback is like that, guys. If this kid was in the game right now, he'd be 100% lost in the sauce. Just because you throw a great ball, guys, doesn't make you a great quarterback. There's so much nuances to go into being a quarterback, man. Now, there may be some things that he does better than Jalen Milrow, right? We can all agree on that. But quarterback is one of those positions where Your teammates have to respect you. The locker room has to respect you. The offensive line has to be in cohesiveness with your voice, it's just so many small nuances that I saw in the USF game. That young kid is not ready to start right now, guys.
Right.
He'll have his day. You can believe that. And there's a lot of people out there. Oh, shout out to TRV, shout out to Travelpreneur Sports Podcast. What's up, bro? There's a lot of people out there that was calling for Buckner the same way. When Buckner got in the game, they were flabbergasted at how bad he looked. This is what Coach Saban been trying to tell you. Know this right here about Coach Saban, man. That man is in the business of winning.
Yes.
Right? If Ty Simpson was better than Jalen Milroe, trust and believe Ty Simpson would be the starter for this football team. If you don't believe nothing else, believe that. And that's really all I got to say about it, guys.
This man, Coach Saban, plays chess and not checkers on such a level, man. It still continues to blow my mind after him being here for 16 years as a head coach. Like, the level of preparation that goes into his preparation for a season, not necessarily a game, but for a season, his offseason prep, I guarantee you we're going to see some type of documentary. If this team somehow wins the national championship, there'll be a documentary come out around July, where they go inside looking. There's going to be a backstory of how Saban went into this offseason prepping our defense for this Tennessee style offense, this Tennessee style schemed up defense, because that's the only defense that really gave us huge problems last year in the game. Hattie Mae in the chat, she going crazy. Hey, my guy JG said something big though. I want to go ahead and acknowledge this. Milroe is a leader, can't be taught, in my opinion. That matters. That could be the difference maker. Look at his composure throughout every game this season, man. Look at his composure. And Hattie Mae, I love when you come in. Appreciate you for coming in. But I'm gonna tell you this: Tommy Reese is laying 2 eggs of 4 quarters. It seems at this point in the season, when I'm watching the plays. And wide receivers, there's 3 checkdowns wide open. You got to take those, Jalen Milroe. Your offensive line is handling probably a first-round draft pick at defensive end. He's holding up, giving you that 3.5 plus seconds that you need in order to scan any quarterback. You're scanning the field in 3.5. Your routes are almost finished at 3. They should be finished at 3.5. You know what I'm saying? You're in phase 3 at 3.5. So I'm not blaming Reese at this point. Milroe's clock got to speed up. This offensive line showed some massive improvements tonight. Still wasn't clean, but we saw them improve throughout this game, and they became effective. So, I mean, what's y'all take? I don't necessarily agree with the Reese, laying eggs. I understand his placement is still not on point for 100% of the game, but I love the growth this game. What's you guys take? I don't know who wants to take it.
Go ahead, Coach Jay.
No, I mean, like I said, the first quarter we got to find a way to just speed things up because you took a look at the second quarter, it was a completely different game. That's where we started to see a lot of pre-snap motion. That's where we started to see the offense start to get more of a drive, a lot more confidence. And I always keep saying this before, man. If you give this defense a chance, just give them a chance to work the field. They're going to be one of them. I'm telling you, they're going to play like a top 5 defense. Now, of course, this was the first game where I think that they really started off bad. This was the first game all year for this defense that they started off bad. Yeah. And they still kept giving you opportunities to score points. They had a key 4th down stop, which set you up at the 35-yard line. Jermaine Burton, again, that's not even a time. People are blaming Milroe and Reese. That's not their fault. That's just the lack of execution for Burton. Burton's got to come down with that ball.
Yeah.
But we had so many opportunities to definitely get back into the game in the first quarter, and we couldn't find a way to do it offensively. Like, think about this for a second, guys. Offensively in the first half, I think we had a total of 6 minutes of time of possession. Right. They had 15 minutes of time of possession. I'm sorry, 1494, which is basically 15 minutes of time of possession in the first half alone. I didn't even count the amount of plays that they ran, but I can guarantee you it was double the amount of plays that they ran compared to us. Right. Like, you can't keep leaving your defense exposed for that long. I'm telling you, against a better offense with better personnel and better play calling, a team like Texas, a team like LSU, that's 20 points they're putting on the board on you guaranteed. Right. So we got to find it. So again, it's the first quarter wise. I agree with all you guys. I agree with the fans. Play calling has got to get better. We got to do a better job of figuring it out. Once we figured it out, and once we actually got on their tail and we start to really find those matchups and expose it, at that point, That's where we started to get the ball rolling. And even in the second quarter, it was still a little slow because it was just a lack of execution for Milroe. He's got to get better at that. But again, once everything became complete in the second half, once everything got together in the third quarter, it was over. We started to run the football a lot more effectively. We started to, again, the pre-snap motion,
it's the answer.
Figure out the defense real quick, whether if they're in man or if they're in zone, you get to figure it out real quick. So we get to find those matchups, expose it. And you saw today, we dominated time of possession in the second half.
Yes.
To eliminate the garbage time, and our defense allowed 0 points. So just give the defense, and Will Reichert, when you put him in field position, which we kept doing all season long, give him a chance.
In field position.
He'll hit it.
Yes.
He's going to give you 3.
Milroe got it. And see, everybody was mad about Milroe scrambling and pressing the line. And, initially you want him to take off. But when he didn't take off, to throw the ball away and not lose yards, that right there maintain momentum. And we then we turn around and get a first down on the next play. You don't put yourself in the hole. That was the difference between the first half and the second half with this offense. We didn't put ourselves in holes because we would have positive plays on first down in the first half, and then we put ourselves in the hole on second down. And Milroe, like we've been saying, we're going to continue talking about Milroe holding on to the ball too long. But I also want Tommy Rees to dial up plays that don't allow him to hold the ball too long. You get what I'm saying? Like Coach Sean was saying earlier in the game, in this podcast, you saw Milton. He didn't get a lot of options early. It was either catch the snap, look and throw, catch snap, read the defensive end and go, hand it off. That's all he had early in the game. And the time where he did get to make multiple reads, guess what happened? He felt comfortable. His arm, he had already taken a few hits. He had already made a couple looks. People had gotten his face. People had touched him a couple times. You got him settled into the game quick. I feel like Tommy Rees needs to do a better job at calling plays that is going to allow Jalen Milroe. Find Jalen Milroe's favorite 6 plays, and let's roll them out in different formations the first 2 drives of the game. That's all we need to run with. Pre-snap motion and add his favorite 6 plays, and we can find success, I believe. Shout out to my guy, Eric Thomas, with the $10 super chat. He said, great content as always, gents. What's our game plan since Arnold is out? Is there an update on his injury? Roll Tide, smoking my cigar. Let me get this other super chat. We had another one from Jonathan Biden. Came through with another 20. He says, guys, I'm gonna send another $20 super chat because I gotta say something. Coach Jay, Coach Sean, and Coach Smook, don't entertain this Ty Simpson stuff anymore. Miro is the man, period. That's why we appreciate every comment, man. That's the thing. We don't ever want y'all to feel like we ignoring y'all, but that was our take on it. That's our take on it. Coach Sean, final takes as we get ready to wind down, man. Overall, give me your take of this offense as a whole. I mean, you know how we like break it down from Tommy Rees all the way down to the O-line, every position group. Give us your last and final take, brother.
My final take is I'm sort of kind of on the other side. I don't like some of the plays he called the first half, especially on third down. The pre-snap motion stuff he brought, to me, that with the offense that we have, with the personnel that we have, I think that's something we need to always do. It messes with the middle linebackers' eyes. It messes with the safeties' eyes. It makes them question their assignments because you're going to always have somebody to overcompensate. I'm still not completely sold on Tommy Rees. That's just me. I don't like the fact that we got to get – I don't like coordinators that you have to what's the word for it? You have to get dirty in the mud before they can really find their rhythm. That's what makes the great coordinators great. Steve Sarkisian, he knew what he was on from game one, from first play to the last play. Lane Kiffin, I don't like the fact that we have to get bogged down for this guy really to find his rhythm, because that's cool against Mississippi State, Arkansas, Tennessee. What happens when you down 20-0? What happens when you down? The defense is not stopping another guy, and that's all I was saying, man. I see things. Same as Coach Jay was saying. I see things that'll potentially get us beat by better competition. So I like Tommy Rees when he finally caught up with himself. When he finally caught up with what Tennessee was doing, he saw what worked and he stick to it. I get it. But I just don't like how long it takes him. It seems like we always a step behind the defense for a half or almost a half, whether that be the first half or the second half. Right. I seen somebody in the chat say we are a second half team. That's no disrespect, but that's laughable to me considering we didn't score a touchdown in 2 games this year in the second half.
Right.
But so for me, man, I wish Tommy Rees, my final thoughts is I wish he I guess knew what he wanted to run on offense. You know, I understand a series or 2 to really see what they're doing, but I just hope it don't take us an entire half to find out what we want to do.
For sure. Coach Jay, want to get your take on this defense, man, from the top down. Kevin Steele, your group you want to highlight, and the overall performance coming into this game and going into the LSU matchup, or going to the bye week and then LSU.
I'm going to highlight this entire defense because again, this was not the best defensive performance that they showed out. This was a game that for the most part, they needed the offense help. They can't keep carrying the offense up the mountaintop. At some point, the offense needs to hold their own weight. And that's exactly, and again, give credit to the offense second half. That's exactly what they did. And once you saw that happen, the defense came out and did what they did best, and that's allow 0 points. And this is what I talked about on Monday. We have a top 5 defense, but an unranked offense. They have the potential to be a top 10 to be top 25, maybe even top 10, but it's inconsistent as all heck. And right now we just have a top 5 defense right now in the country. So I'm extremely confident in this team. I should say I'm very confident in this defense. I know we have the ability to become extremely dominant and become a full force. But you got to give them props. Give them props for what they did. They had a terrible first drive. I have no idea why Chris Braswell was on their best receiver.
Exactly.
Is that caught me off guard. But they still prevailed. They had 2 or 3 key red zone stops, or 2 key red zone stops, which again, the score could have went from 27 points or 27 or 28 points to only settling down to 13 points in the first half. I'm sorry, in the second quarter, which ultimately got the 20, but it could have gone bad real quick. Defensively did the best that they possibly could. Offensively finally got their slack together. And I'm telling you, if we can just put together a complete game, if the offense comes out firing, if we keep putting Miro in good positions, if he's reading the check, if he's seeing the check downs, if he's going through his progressions extremely quickly, if the offensive line can take the next step like they did from this game, I'm telling you this right now, guys, we're going to beat LSU. Not just beat them, we can blow them out. We can blow out pretty much any team in the country, but it's all about what type of football we're going to be playing for all 4 quarters. What type of half are we going to be playing, the first and the second? That's going to determine our season, man. We have the potential to win a championship, but it's all about putting it all together.
Correct. And my final take, they cover offensive, defensive side. I want to cover the mentality side of this team. One thing I will commend this team on today, we saw energy from the first quarter throughout the whole game. We saw the coaches on the sideline getting involved, grilling guys. We saw Coach Saban grilling coaches again. We saw guys checking each other. We saw accountability, my bads. We saw just a level of focus that we've been waiting to see. Now, that needs to translate into execution, just like Coach John and Coach Jay and Coach Sean said. I said Coach John, but Coach Jay and Coach Sean both said those things need to translate into execution. I think the mentality is there. I think the attitude is there. I think the competitive nature is there. Now the execution needs to be at a consistent level. The O-line, I really want to shout out the O-line. They didn't play a lights out game, but they improved so much that they were not a factor in our struggles today. They were not the reason why we struggled today. And that is more than what you can ask for when you talk about what they've had this season, what we've seen from them this season. And so I want to say I don't have the stats of how many sacks did we give up tonight? Was it 3?
I think 3.
And each one of them was on Milroe. Even the free guy coming off the blitz, Proctor can turn and chip, but Milroe, you already had your protection. You caught the slide to the right.
Facts.
If you're going to call the slide, if you're going to change your protection, slide to the right. He caught it. I want y'all to go back and watch that play.
He took his eyes off the guy.
He literally took his eyes off his and you had your check down open on the side. On the side, you slid it to your protection too. So they said we had 4 sacks. So I mean, guys, it's one of them things where we're literally inches away from being a complete team. We're literally, I want to say 14 minutes and 32 seconds from being a freaking complete team. That's how close we are to being a complete team and being, head and shoulders above the rest of this competition on our schedule. And I mean, like, even with LSU coming in, I'm glad they're coming in. I love the energy the crowd displays. Sean, we've been asking for it.
Yep.
We've been asking for it. We caused 2 false start penalties back to back.
Yep.
And
Shout out to the
BDS.
crowd, man. Yep.
Shout out to the fans, man, that showed up today. We took this personal. This is the first time I felt like I was in the stadium watching the game for the first time, bro, because the crowd, CBS had the crowd filtered in beautifully tonight. And I got a nice little sound bar with them little subwoofers. I got 2 of them mugs hooked up, and I got the wood floors just a little hollow, so it's rumbling in my house. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Boy, I'm telling y'all, it felt good to see us close that game out. Not so happy with the first game, the first quarter, and going, I'm gonna say the first 18 minutes of the game. I was not happy. But that drive to close out the second quarter, even the turn, the drive when Milroe threw the pick, that was a complete drive. I don't know why we go in the air right there. Me personally, I'm running it all 3 times, taking the 3, but I can see why he take it. Burton ain't been involved for real. Let's try to get a big play. Let's try to create some more momentum. So I can understand. And it didn't hurt us. At the end of the day, a win is a win. This Crimson Tide team has continued to develop. We saw the O-line grow. Everybody was scared of this defensive line. Were you not, Coach Sean? Were you not scared that this defensive line was going to just create?
Sack us 1,000 times. Yeah, I was.
Coach Jay highlighted James Pierce was going to be my defensive player of the week. And he's not even on Bama. You get what I'm saying?
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
We kick his back in a lot, but Caden handled 27 when they flipped him to the other side sometime. They tried to get a matchup on Caden, and several times Caden handled his business tonight.
Booker would.
So let's give him his props tonight in pass pro.
You could tell when Booker was letting Caden know he can't help him. You could tell. He would give him that extra, and it didn't matter. Caden, he never flinched, bro. Even the one time he did get beat, even the one time he missed the backside cleanup that got the sack fumble, he did not flinch this game. That's the first time I've seen this offensive line not flinch. And I was so glad that Jaden Roberts came back in. Thank you, Jesus. We didn't have to, risk having Dalcourt out there because that O-line had just started clicking right before he went down. So it was good to see him out there. Hopefully he's healthy going forward. We don't have any updates from injuries. I don't know if Kyle was supposed to come on. Let me check with Kyle. Coach Sean, you could kind of hit some of the comments if you want, bro.
Let me get Derek Carr-Starfin. Derek, the very sack you're talking about was not on Caden Proctor. Sure, Caden kept his arc and he pushed Caden a little bit. That's on Jalen Milroe. That's when Jaden has to step up in the pocket. Jalen has to step up in the pocket and make the pass play. Jalen kept his form, kept his arc, and kept him from sacking the quarterback. That's on Jalen Milroe. That wasn't on Caden Proctor.
He had a rushing lane wide open. I mean, he could have
wide
stepped
open.
Facts. The rushing
8
lane
yards between him and that defender. You telling me you can't make that play, Jalen?
How long do you expect these guys to block? I mean, like Coach Smook highlighted earlier.
3.5.
How long do you expect these guys to hold these guys? I mean, Jalen can't just hold the ball forever back there, guys.
You know what, Swag? I don't think that's a coaching thing with quarterbacks. I think the reason why Jalen Hurts was able to maintain a job when he took over is because the staff, the team was ready to live with him relying on his legs to try to create positive plays instead of taking sacks. Jalen Hurts didn't. Jalen Hurts had, I want to say 14 total sacks his freshman year. He had got sacked 14 times. Yes, he had an experienced offensive line. And y'all can fact check me. I want to say 14 going into that Auburn game because I remember there was like a highlighted stat. This offensive line was keeping him up on his feet and he was using his legs. But if Milroe was to, we saw it be effective. As soon as he started using his legs, Coach, it just opened up the whole offense.
Yep. I don't know if he's afraid to miss those, like maybe he's too afraid. He wants to stick in that pocket and he just wants to go through his progressions a bit longer because maybe he's seeing something on tape when he's taking off. I'm not too sure. But at some point, man, you just gotta. I mean, you gotta stop being like Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, man. Just take off. You see a rushing lane wide open. If you feel like you can't go through your progressions real quick, if you feel like you can't go to the check down, if you see a rushing lane wide open, just go get the first. You got the speed and the athleticism to do it. I mean, the one thing Jaden Daniels does a lot better, and this is one thing that is translating to his game. That first and second reason is gone. Boom, he's gone.
Taking off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main. That is probably the most highlighted difference in Jaden Daniels' game from last year because we knew he had the pocket presence. We knew he could throw the ball from the pocket. And it was so many times last year, as successful as their offense was and explosive as they was, it would be times he was sitting in that pocket too long instead of pressing the pocket to create either the run or the extended play pass opportunity. So too many times Milroe is sitting in that quarterback trying to extend it in the pocket. Move your pocket, get off platform. Milroe throws a more accurate intermediate ball off platform than he does sitting in the pocket. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. When Milroe is on the run, that 12 to 15, 12 to 18 pass, it's like it's better for him. It's like it's more natural for him. So I don't understand why he doesn't. Me as a coach, I'm going down and I'm highlighting that as an offensive coordinator. Stop waiting so late to press the line of scrimmage and create, the opportunities for linebackers to walk up, safeties to walk up. Shout out to D Hill for the 199 super chat. He said, this is 199 is for 60 minutes. We had one penalty for 5 yards. We ended the game with 2 penalties, right? One was self-imposed. It was strategic. And like you said, the 1 penalty for 5 yards. We have been hearkening on this team's discipline and execution. Man, when I say I don't think I for real had a tear in my eye for like 3 sequences coming into that second half, y'all. Like I saw the energy leaving at the end of the second quarter. I saw the Kevin Steele adjustments. A lot of y'all asked why Braswell was out there in coverage. I think we didn't want Key's inability to cover one-on-one to be exposed so early. And he was supposed to, if you look
3-3-5.
Yeah,
sure.
But when Braswell went out, and I think the announcer even called it out, he forced him to the sideline, and he did not press him to the sideline like most linebackers are taught.
Thought he had help, probably.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be help. If you look at that side, Key was supposed to be over top help.
Yeah.
And so Kevin Steele, I believe, in my Bama history fan, my Bama fan history mind, knowing the coaches' play call style and how they coach, hearing stories from previous players, I believe Kevin Steele called down and said, look, I'm not putting my linebackers in that position no more. If a running back don't go out there, we're not sending nobody out there. We're going to keep our guys in the box. Safety, you got to walk down. If you can't cover, we got people behind you that want to play man-to-man coverage for us. We got people that want to play close to the line of scrimmage. And
I got a question for the coaches.
Key play different from that point on.
Facts. After you read the super chat, I got a real quick question for you guys.
Okay. Troubled Man said with the $10 super chat, he said, I feel that Jalen want to prove he can throw the ball. Yes, he can run as we've seen tonight, but I feel that he wants to prove his arm. I don't want to see more design runs for him going forward. He said, I do want to see more design runs for him going forward.
That's where I was going to in my question. Fact.
Right. I feel like that's how you're going to help him his passing game.
My question was to Coach Jay and Coach Smook, even the chat, because it may have just been me. When I watch Jalen run on the design runs tonight, it's like he's not as fast as he was in the beginning of the season. Like he's getting caught from behind a lot of times. And it's like when he would break out, he was slightly limping, like almost galloping almost. It's like he don't have that quickness like he had in the beginning of the season. It's like every time he gets ready to break out of a seam or something, somebody's catching him by the legs, or you know what I'm saying? And then when he would break out, it's almost like the guy was galloping almost. I'm not sure if that guy might be a little beat up, a little injured or something.
He might be injured, but I also see he's not running with that ball loose anymore. Every run, I don't care if he's one-on-one, Miro has that ball high and tight. And sprinters, you need your arms. Facts. So I think that's definitely affected. And I think the more he continues to tighten up that technique, even with making those read option reads, those fake handoffs and transitioning to that carry style, I think that he'll start to go full speed. But I think his priority right now is protecting the ball and game management, taking the big plays like we want from him. So, but I did see that too with after he took that hit to his lower leg. Coach Sean, Coach Jay, you got a take on that?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he's hurt. I mean, he takes a lot of big hits. He takes one of the biggest critiques is that there are plays where he doesn't really need to take the hit, but he's going to do it anyway because he's trying to show. He's just trying to show that he's tough. He's a leader. Yeah. He's willing to do whatever it takes for the team. But I mean, he's our best option at quarterback. Best option. Yeah. And if he's gone, then we're screwed. So he's got to learn to slide in certain situations or to go out of bounds when there's no need to take there's just no need to take some of those type of hits.
Right.
But it is what it is. I think again, worst case scenario, he goes from a 4.4 runner to a 4.6 runner. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Also with that, I think right now we, to not to go back to the Ty Simpson topic, but I think right now a game like that for our offensive line, if Miro goes down, now I feel more comfortable with this offense around a backup quarterback. Not totally with the play calling, but the way these guys displayed their level of execution tonight. No penalties based, on the offense except for the Seth McLaughlin snap infraction. I mean, even when we try to draw them offside, the discipline, it was there. Run block execution increased. It was more productive throughout the game. So, if Miro was to go down on some freakish injury, knock on wood, like you said, Coach Jay, I feel more confident in putting Ty Simpson out there and possibly allowing him to do what his best asset is throwing the ball. The pass pro has definitely. I think the next athletic defensive front that we should see, like completely across the board, might be Auburn. I don't know. Y'all might want to go watch some other games, but LSU has one guy on the defensive front, and they got some stout linebackers that can, probably spy Milrow. They can get good on blitz, but defensive front wise, they're not dominant. So I think we've passed the major test as far as handling defensive fronts. What do you guys think?
I agree. My last thing I was going to say, as far as what you just said, I want people to understand. I want them to understand the importance of this LSU game. This would be the biggest game of the season, not just because it's LSU, because of the standings in the West. This would be a huge, huge, huge game. Right now, Ole Miss is in second. I think their only loss in conference is to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think their only loss overall is to us, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I think they're losing to Auburn right now, though.
So even no matter what happens with Ole Miss, it is imperative that we win this game against LSU.
Yes.
If we win this game against LSU, what in conference games we have left after that? Auburn
and Kentucky.
Auburn and Kentucky. So it is of the utmost importance for us to win this game against LSU, man. If we want to go to the SEC championship game and represent the West, we must defeat that team in 2 weeks. Period, man.
Let me get David Pastor another. We did not say, we said Simpson wasn't ready for this moment. He's not the better quarterback for it. I said I feel comfortable right now with the way this offensive line played today. If Miro was to go down, I feel comfortable playing a backup quarterback. Well, and backup quarterback, I feel comfortable putting Dylan Lundgren out there. Anybody but Ty Buckner can go out there right now and find success with the way this offense is starting to grow and develop. That's my take. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give
you Gelato. Gelato has some great takes. Shout out to Gelato.
Gelato be going in. Gelato be going in. We have to tell Gelato. Gelato be ready to cut throats and stuff. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all for pulling up again today, y'all. I thought Kyle was coming in. He said I'm getting all the players and stuff. Okay, he's gonna have all the uploads and stuff ready for after this post game. As we continue to close, guys, just remember, man, we are 7-1. We're undefeated in conference play right now. Our closest conference game was last week against Arkansas, and they've played everybody close. I think this who did they play today? Did Arkansas win today?
No, they lost. They lost. I think they only scored 3 points on Mississippi State, 3-7.
Oh yeah. That was a crash game. Yeah,
3 points. But it is what it is. We can't talk about that.
Coach JB, read my mind.
I feel y'all, man. Well, yeah, this team is at this point. This team is what it is. I think the only thing for us to do right now is to start faster on the offense. I don't think defense has a problem. I don't think defense has been the Achilles heel this season. We saw Caleb Downs grow tremendously. His progression was night and day. Same with Terry and Arnold. He came in solid and remained solid. We saw Trey Amos grow. Oh yeah, that's why I want to highlight too. We saw Trey Amos grow up tonight, y'all. Remember I said the more reps he get, that pass where he could have picked it off against Ole Miss, he almost picked a similar type of pass off against Tennessee tonight. Same style of play, same concept, same release with the route, and he jumped it a little bit more confident tonight and secured the tackle. Or did he force the incompletion on that one? I think he forced the incompletion on that one. But yeah, definitely could have been a pick. So how y'all did y'all like what y'all saw from Trey Amos tonight?
No, he stepped up, but we're gonna need Terrion to play on that outside. As much as I like Trey Amos, I'm not confident in him going against Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas.
You know what I will say, Coach J? Mm-hmm. I would rather against LSU, and we saw this alignment before Arnold went out. I would rather see Amos Arnold on the out. I mean, not Amos Arnold. Amos and Kool-Aid on the outside. Bring Arnold into your star. Keep Moore and Caleb over top with your base nickel, right? And then when you have your dime, you bring Key in over top and bring Malachi down to the money. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that right there, you got your weakest cover guy in that money, that dime set will be Malachi Moore, and he's been solid this year. You would have him covering basically like your third or fourth option and still being there for run support. Schematically, you know what I'm saying? Ideally, when we talk about schematics with the dime and the type of personnel you put that up against. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I can see that working because Malik, he gets the majority of his production comes from the slot. That's where they like to line him up the most. But I mean, he can play both. He can play on the outside, can play on the inside. Literally, I mean, you can literally line him up everywhere. He's a beast. But no, it's an interesting matchup, man. It's a very interesting matchup where we go with our secondary going against theirs. I would just like everybody to be healthy. I just hope that for the most part it's not a serious injury. Hopefully it's more like kind of more of a game. He just couldn't really continue, but he can be back this week. We need all the options that we can have for this game.
So I'm looking at Twitter. They're saying it was a mild concussion, which is perfect because mild concussion protocol is 6 days before you can be evaluated to get on the field. So we got a bye week, which is awesome. So perfectly, Malachi Moore was kind of limping at the end of the game playing on that ankle. You know, we saw Jaden Roberts go down and come back in the game and finish the game strong. I think Milroe was nicked up a little bit with that ankle, maybe shin looking area. It was a few injuries out there that looked like guys got dinged up a little bit. Tim Keenan also. So, man, we didn't even say that. We're going to save some up for the show, but yeah, our defensive front, them Keenan and Otis, they looking all SEC, all American like right now, bro. I'm talking about run game stuff in the run game in the second half. The way they came out and just handled that offensive line, 2 guys was taking on 4. Every run play we held them in the negative. Them boys was being disruptive. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This was a good win for us. Not pleased with the full game, but definitely pleased with the win, y'all. We come out, start fast. From here on out, I don't see anybody beating us. Coach Jay, tell the people how they can find. Oh, you on mute. Coach Sean. Oh, okay. Coach Jay, tell the people where they can find you, man. How they can follow you and keep up with your content, brother, as we close out.
And follow me at y'all definitely need to follow me on Twitter, man, because there's gonna be a lot of trash talk when we talking to these Tennessee fans. So follow me, Twitter, Gent716, YouTube, Gent Sports. Well, I'll quickly kind of talk about the recap and a more uncensored version that I cannot talk right now on this post game show. So you definitely don't want to miss that. It's gonna be a lot of trash talk, a lot of Tennessee fans. I'm gonna be pulling up the receipts, so it's gonna be a fun time kind of dealing with those fans and again smoking on my pretzel. But man, I can't wait for it, man. I can't wait for it.
Let's go, man. Coach Shaw, take it away, bro.
You guys can find me right here on Bama Football on YouTube with Kyle and Coach Smook and Coach Jay, of course. I just want to say thank you guys to everybody in the chat, man. Dudes be emailing me, people in the chat, man. You guys tap in with us, and you guys really make the show, honestly. Right. You know, we just all coach the game, like talking about the game. You guys in the chat, man, we love to match wits and talk about our team. I want to say a personal thank you to you guys. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to my brethren on the panel. I personally appreciate all of you, and roll tide to everybody.
Facts.
Yep.
And you all know you all can find me at Coach Smook on every platform. The buzz is unreal right now, and it's really because of you all. You know, this channel is continuing to grow. I don't know about Coach Jay because you know he's more on social media. Coach Sean, we getting him acclimated, but my platforms are starting to receive followers because of you all. So I really appreciate it. And you all can catch me here every post game show. Also can catch me here Monday nights, Monday Night Football with the coaches, Coach Sean, Coach Jay. Catch me Tuesday on the Bama Standard. The final whistle, we be on there 9 o'clock Eastern. Also Monday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You catch me on Bleacher Report with Around the Table Sports. Ty Hayes. We're on Bleacher Report at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pull up. I will say this as I get ready to close out: the Bama community on Bleacher Report is so refreshing. So many refreshing takes, so many realistic takes. It's not a lot of whining like you see on Twitter and on the message boards. These takes are realistic. They some of them are raw and kind of rub your skin the wrong way if you a diehard fan, you know what I'm saying, and you want your team to be successful. But yeah, man, it's like Bleacher Report. If you haven't downloaded it, download the Bleacher Report app. Myself, Kyle does his thing on Thursdays. On the Bleacher Report, I think it's at 6 p.m. on Thursdays. He does his segment. So Bleacher Report is about to be a new platform that I think you all want to tap into. It's probably going to be the new like message board type deal. So definitely tap into that. But yeah, y'all catch me. And don't forget, every Friday I do a live preview show with NCAA Revamp gaming content. We play a live game versus the team matchup. We won't have one this Friday because we in the bye week, of course. But we will have one next Friday facing the LSU. Up-to-date rosters, realistic skill play, all that type of stuff. IRL, I have guest coordinators. Trying to get these two guys right here. How do I point that way? These two guys to join the show with me for one of these games before the season over so y'all can enjoy that content. But yeah, with that being said,
Coach Smook, right before you end it, if I can, shout out to Jonathan Bowden. I had an email, Jonathan. I have an email. I have several emails, but the one the guys was hitting me on was hammondsfamily25@gmail.com. But I will have a Twitter page here soon. Actually, I started making it the other night, got interrupted. Coach Smook is going to kind of navigate it for me. You know, him and Coach Jay helping me out. I'm about to have that page. By the time our next show start, I'll have that page nice and freshly new. I appreciate you, Jonathan, man. Shout out to you and Roll Tide to you.
For sure. And also, chat, we want to start incorporating more of what you all want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Our takes on. So we would appreciate it if you all just, chimed in on each one of our social media platforms between now and Monday evening. So when we huddle up together and come up with our topics for that night, I don't think we like to come up with topics and just ponder over them for the whole weekend. We like to come up with fresh topics. So in the midst of that moment, that hour, we can go and have a fresh take on what we're about to bring to you all. None of that stuff that's been dictated by media, ESPN, all that. These are fresh takes that we try to bring to y'all. And I think that's what's separating us from the rest of the competition. We're not media driven. This is just honest football fans who know football giving you good takes. So email us, tweet us some topics, tag us in different things you see, everything. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you follow us. So once again, you can rewind it, go back. You can check us out at all, on all our platforms. And we appreciate y'all, guys. And as always, appreciate Kyle. Shout out to Bama Football on YouTube, Kyle Henderson, for presenting the platform. Shout out to every fan that showed up. As we close out, light up the chat with some Roll Tides. And that's it for us, guys. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.